What's going on, family? This is episode 49 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. I am joined, as always, by Mr. What's Good himself, Israel.
What's good? It's another day to be great.
And you know we got a doctor in the house because we got Luke in the building.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Yo, what is going on, fellas? Um, hey, off the top, I'm sitting here with a bowl of chicken. Y'all can't see it; it's off screen. But I'm
Bowl of
sitting here with a
chicken
bowl
is
of chicken
crazy.
because I have not ate all day.
It be like that sometimes, man. It be like that.
But so family, if y'all see me get quiet for a second, it's because I'm probably taking a bite out of the chicken.
He pulling one of my numbers, man. I ain't even made dinner yet, man. I'm trying to figure out. If I'm fasting tonight, I'm finna go somewhere to eat. Man. But
So fellas, how was y'all? You know how we start this off. How was
yeah,
y'all
the
weekend?
weekend, man, the weekend it was good. A whole bunch of motorcycle stuff. Got a chance to go hiking. Nothing moves the mind more than traveling, getting out in nature, grounding, hanging out with friends. Yeah, I think Friday was a busy night. Saturday was a busy day. You go hiking, then you go to day parties, then you go to a night party, then anniversary parties, then Sunday morning. I don't even know. Oh, I went, yeah, working out, and you just having a busy day of doing stuff. Busy days of productivity. Yeah, and here it is Monday morning, looking for another job. I need to start my own business, but that's how it's going. How about you, Luke? How was your weekend?
Oh man. uh, for political reasons, I'm gonna just say it was a good weekend. That's all I can really
Oh
do right
man,
now. I ain't gonna be able to keep it 100 with y'all right now, but there's a brighter day ahead. But
amen.
something, huh?
I said amen. Better days are coming.
Better days, got to. What about you, Solomon?
My weekend was straight. It wasn't too bad. Y'all know me. I'm still on the grind, still working and stuff like that. So I ain't really been doing too much. I don't know. I don't know. I've been very happy and excited with a lot of stuff that's going on. Oh snap! What's up, Ruby? Coming in early. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Ruby? What's going on?
Um, I just been, working. I got projects coming out. I got, this year I'm grinding. I'm trying to release 3 for 3. I got 1 for 3 out right now. You know what I'm saying? There are only 9 numbers. Y'all get y'all copy. You know what I'm saying? If you into numerology and numbers and things of that nature. Um, Second, 2 of 3 that's coming out June 27th, The Gifted Princess. I'm gonna start promoting that soon. So I still got stuff I got going on. Then I got something else that I'm trying to release in December. Well, it might be November. I got to see, where I'm gonna be at in the process, but towards the end of the year. So not too much. I just been working. Not too much.
Cool.
Um
That's what's up. We
Family. What you was gonna say? What you was gonna say,
I
Israel?
was gonna say we on the brink of money making May. You got to get to it, get to the money every day. I think it's 5 weeks to pay this week. If you get paid every week, I mean 5 weeks to pay this month. If you get paid every week, what's that? One, two, yeah, May. 5 weeks in May, 5 Fridays for those that get paid every week or twice a week or something like that. Twice a month, something like every other week, something like that. What's that? Is that? Yeah, something like that. Yes.
All right. So, fellas, let's get into this first topic today. Matter of fact, Y'all tell me what y'all want to talk about first, because this episode is entitled "Humble Pie." We're gonna talk about the whole Shedeur thing last, but what y'all want to talk about first? Y'all,
Let's talk about TD Jake stepping down.
all right,
Let's
cool.
talk about the religion. Let's go.
All right, family. As of Sunday, TD Jakes announced that he would be stepping down. And his reasoning was, of course, because of the health scare that he had. Just what was that, in November? So he's told the congregation he's going to step down, and of course his daughter and someone else, one of the other ministers, will be taking control um, of what he got going on in his ministry. Fellas, my question is, of course,
Oh
is
snap!
this because of the Diddy trial that's about to start on May 5th?
Oh snap! You know what? This goes back to the last podcast when I was saying that at certain points and times of certain situational points of our lives, especially when you in a point of leadership, especially when it comes to religious spiritual leadership, at some point in time you should step down when you are up there, because at this point you should be solid, solidified, and you should make way for the next new generation, right? You should have what I should call a change in power service, where you're changing hands of the power or changing hands of the church into somebody else. That would be a formal way to do it, but I'm still ahead of my time. But hey, of course, he was at them Diddy parties. You seen a picture. Him and Diddy was at a party. Ain't no telling how long he was at a party, but he was at the party. Diddy parties. That's my 2 cents.
So what about you, Luke? What you feel about this?
Yeah, like Israel was saying. I mean, I think it's just time. Like you said, definitely after the health situation. Um, Bishop Jake's been running his ministry for many years.
Oh, snap.
He for his age, he fairly does look pretty young, but as far as running a business time is concerned, it would be that time. I set his business up and set his ministry up in a way to where it will keep flowing because he made it imperative that his daughter be married, and she ended up marrying someone that is also one of his ministers. So even though it's not his biological son, it is technically still his son. His minister is going to be running. They're going to run it together as a couple, as a husband and wife. So when you have a daughter, you really, I mean, how much more can you ask for when you're running a multi-million dollar ministry? She was able to find somebody that was able to, keep up with the family business, and I think they're gonna probably do pretty. I think they're gonna do okay. Um, she's a pretty good minister. I mean, it's some things that I'm pretty sure the people will have to get used to. Do I think it have anything to really do with the Diddy trial? Probably not. Honestly, I don't think it really had much to do with it because I really don't personally believe he was involved in the deepness of what that trial is going to expose. Diddy had thousands of people at his parties. I got to go down the line then, and there's probably going to be some names in there
Oh
from
yeah,
people that
Diddy was
just
there.
was
Trump was
that
there. You know.
attend. So attendance into a situation doesn't make you guilty, and I can't hop on that trend because as easy as it is to do that to him, somebody can do that to us. So it's like I don't think
Absolutely
it has
right.
anything to do with the Diddy trial, though. I don't think. I mean, in reality, no, not. I mean, it wasn't a good look because of the way they kind of tied it into his trial with him being there. But when you got to start pulling things from this and you got to make a narrative that just someone attended, he probably was invited and he attended. I stopped and asked myself if I was a bishop in that position of leadership, would I would have gone? I would have gone as well because anytime you're showing your face around people, you're building your brand, and it's sometimes it's not the best look, But we also know that ministers and preachers and bishops are human. They like to have fun. That probably wasn't the first party, because I've seen a lot of the clips of when Bishop T.D. Jakes was at the party with his wife and his daughter, and it was like, oh look, he's been to the Diddy parties. So yeah, he brought all of them in there with him. Him, his wife, his daughter, and they all went there and had them a little Diddy oil party. Don't really sound that logical to me. Doesn't sound that scandalous. Why would you bring your family? Why would you? Why would you even publicly post on your page about it? Because you probably didn't.
Everybody holy in front of the preacher. Come on
Well,
now.
no, and I get that. I get that. But I just don't think it got
Naughty
anything.
stuff don't
Did
happen
you
till he
did y'all
leave.
hear did y'all hear about though the scandal with even his daughter though? Like they supposedly was, trafficking children. Well, not trafficking, but like kidnapping children and holding them. And well, I
Yeah,
guess
I
you
I
ain't
heard,
can
hear the
say it.
scandal. I ain't hear the
That
scandal.
was
I
a
heard about
scandal.
I wouldn't
it.
put it
But
past
and
him.
that's why I don't put too much. I mean, we live in a day and age to where now people who live at their mama house with a keyboard can seem real convincing.
That's
So it's
crazy.
hard for me. I take everything with less than a grain of salt now because the narratives that was trying to paint makes for a good story.
Hmm.
Even when they made the meme about him with the purple robe and the clip. I
Have you
mean,
ever been swallowed up?
yeah, like that part, we live in a day and time now to where, and you got to think about how much content Bishop T.D. Jakes has. That's so convenient. I'm mindful of convenience when it comes to certain stuff like that because it's real convenient to do that to somebody that got hours and hours of content. I can go through and I can pull out stuff that sound crazy, but in reality, it's not. They were trying to do that with football. They were saying, "Oh, listen to how these guys talk about football and the terminologies that they use and things like that." And oh, all these guys must be a little funny because look at how they're saying this and they're saying that. Like we can do that all day nowadays in these times. So nah, just to sum it up, I don't think it got anything to do with that. I think it's time for him to sit down because he's tired. And then all of the stress and being in the media nowadays, to me, it's like I wouldn't even want to do it, to be honest with you. I take my hat off to anybody that publicly asserts themselves as some leader in ministry because it's a setup. Because you're gonna make somebody mad, and we live in keyboard warrior days where the moment you make somebody mad, they could build some whole kind of picture on you. So you know, I take my hat off to him.
Okay. Well, my opinion or my thoughts on this is basically, I don't think it has something to do with the Diddy trial. Who knows? When it starts, we'll find out all of everything that's coming out. I mean, it's deeper. The whole Diddy situation is deeper than anybody can really understand. So I'ma just say if TD Jakes is involved in that, then that's his lifestyle. That's whatever he got going on. But him stepping down, he says for it's a health reason. And hey, then we gonna say at the end of the day, TD Jakes did. I'm gonna say this for the record for the podcast. TD Jakes has made a positive impact in the world. Now, any skeletons that's in his closet, that's between him and God. But
Right.
what
Who are
he
we to judge? Who are
who
we to judge?
well, I don't know. Hold on now, Israel. I kind of
Who
judge
are we to
sometimes.
judge? Who are we to judge?
Sometimes I be
Judge
judging a little
not,
bit.
lest ye be judged.
They judge me all the time, so I judge back. But anyway, um,
Yeah.
like I say, like he did have a positive impact in the world. Not everything that he has done or said, could be taken this as everything. There's stuff on this podcast that people dislike. They be really mad at Luke all the time when especially when he was going in on Kamala.
Dang, they be mad at you, Luke. What's going on?
Well,
And they be mad at me because it ain't them up here talking. But anyway, so I can't fault him for his skeletons in his closet that's between him and God, but I will still state that he has done a marvelous job with still building his congregation to teach life and to break down the real of what is happening in today's time or just the Bible itself. So that's what I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Some news then came out. Now, this is called the Pharaohs Podcast. And we can't sit up here and not have no news about what's going on in Egypt. They thought we forgot. This happened like a month ago, but listen, we be catching up to the news, okay? Don't worry. We gonna catch up to the news when it's time to catch up to the news. But anyway, fellas, we got some news coming out of Egypt that they found a new civilization, or they say a city, um,
Whoo!
under one of the pyramids.
Under that
Now I know
city.
this. Now I know this. We finna turn up because I'm finna get into my bag. I know Luke finna get into his bag about these pyramids and everything. I know Israel. I know you probably finna get into your little bag too. You know what I'm saying? We finna get into our little bag about
Under that
the
city.
pyramids. So let me just you know put the everything into perspective. A team of Italian and Scottish researchers, known as the Khafre Project, claims to have discovered a large network of underground structures, possibly a vast city underneath the Giza pyramids. They used advanced radar technology to detect these structures. The researchers described finding wells, vertical shafts, spiral staircases, and interconnected chambers deep beneath the surface.
Hmm.
Some researchers suggest that the structures could be related to the legendary halls of Amenti, or a lost city mentioned in the ancient texts. Okay.
In that
Now,
city,
this is
Lord.
the now this is the people who are saying, now we got two reports. So that's the report of them saying, talking about what they found. Now, these are the other scientists who are trying to debunk this thing. They say these claims are met with skepticism and have been called fake news by some of the prominent archaeologists and experts. Critics argue that the radar technology that is used may not be capable of penetrating to the depths claimed and producing the detailed images presented. Some experts suggest the findings could be misinterpreted or exaggerated. The lack of peer reviewed publication of the findings has also fueled the controversy. All right. So, fellas, we gon' do our own type of speculating about these new findings for the pyramids. Okay? Underneath the pyramid. So who wanna tackle this first? Well, first of all, let's get the questions out the way. Do you believe that this is true? Yes or no? And then let's hear y'all thoughts.
I believe it's true because they always messing around with them pyramids.
Hey, grandma.
Hey,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Israel. You said you believe it because what?
They always messing with them pyramids.
Okay.
you know, I guess I'll piggyback off of it. Uh, Briefly, do I believe it? No, I don't believe it. I would prefer to wait to see what can come up a little bit more because there has been a little bit of sensationalism sometimes when it comes to it. The type of evidence that I need when it comes to stuff like that is literally hardcore. Like, just like I don't have to believe if the pyramids exist, there's enough evidence to show from pictures and videos. And I've never been there, but it's enough evidence for me not to believe that the actual pyramids exist. I need that same type of evidence when it comes to anything that is newly discovered or hasn't been actually, dug up or is accessible, because other than that, it is still skepticism. Radar finding is good, but it's not perfect. And there's a lot of big money when it comes to the pyramids as far as reporting is concerned. So as I become more mature, I understand that sometimes these news articles come out because of ratings or because of books or publications that need attention. And Egypt has always been an easy way. A lot of people have gotten rich off of the information from Egypt, whether it was true or false. So I'm just a little bit more reserved. Um, like I say, as wisdom hits me more until I see something. I've heard the rumors. I've heard many people talk about it, people who are learned people and have a lot of information on it. When not saying they're 100% true because they don't know either, but there have been speculations that, the pyramids were used as more of a as an energy source. So these cities would make sense as they're calling them cities. They really, I think when they're saying cities, they mean like for anybody that's worked at the office, like I work in a building, if you go to the back room where all of the computer servers are, it's like a city. There's many, you never really have to go in there because it's not necessary, but there has to be a place for the computer servers. There has to be a place for the hot water heaters and the boilers, and sometimes there's a whole nother world in certain buildings that you never really see because it's not necessary to the operation of the building to be commonly seen. That's how I would feel about this situation if it was true. They're embarking in an element that was necessary to do whatever the purpose of the pyramid was for. We know it wasn't to bury any pharaohs. We know that for a fact. As much as they were saying that that's where it was, we know that's not true because you don't never find any of the pharaohs buried there. You find them buried where they're supposed to be buried. So we know it's not that, and I'm just, I'm a little skepticism. I'm skeptical on it. I want to see a little bit more than just radar. But I would believe that the pyramids was definitely some kind of form of energy source from the location that it's in and from the design that it's made. And as a civilization that was advanced that Egypt was, it wouldn't be too surprising to see them trying to embark on some form of an abundant energy when you have one of the largest cities, if not, no, at the time, the largest city on the planet that you've been running for thousands of years. Your engineers and your technicians are going to come up with some kind of way to sustain energy because we know energy is needed in civilization. The question is, have modern day archaeological findings proven this theory to be true? So I'm gonna say, nah, I don't believe it. I won't believe it until I see it.
Okay. All right. So for me, fellas, I'm going to say I need some more proof as well for it to come out. But I do believe they still haven't gotten to everything that they wanted to get to when it comes to underneath the pyramids.
They slowly
Now,
releasing it to us. They been found this out. They just decided they wanted to release it to us.
yeah, yeah. They might have found some stuff and then they didn't tell us. That is true too. That's why I gotta go over there. We gonna do a Pharaohs podcast special. All three of us gonna go over there and do it and look ourselves.
I'm going with my,
Amen.
no, I'm walking with my stuff.
You gonna put
I'm
your
going
robe on?
Over there they be having white robes. Black robes
Yeah,
is
because it's hot. Yeah.
considered
'Cause it's-
not only that, but black robes ain't not what they wear on that side of the country or that side of the earth.
oh,
I forget
yeah.
they
another
just don't.
reason, but it's not.
No, they
Yeah.
wear black clothes. They just
Yeah.
don't wear
Well,
them as the white ones because, like you said, the heat.
yeah, it's really because of the heat too. But so I'm gonna just get to like I was saying, like I need some more evidence about these findings, but I do believe that there is stuff that they have not gotten to. and that there's still more to discover. Now, I will say this when it comes to the pyramids too. They still don't have a real answer for how it even came about, like how they even built it. They still confused. They're still confused. I don't know if they
Skilled
really confused.
archaeologists.
I don't want to say that they're real confused. I want to say that they're telling the world that they're confused. I believe they really know by now. They answered all these other types of questions. They can clone and do all these other types of things. And when it comes to science and everything else, you're telling me you don't know who built the pyramids? Come on now. Come on. We come on.
They said God
Anyway,
did it.
yeah. Yeah, let's just say that then. But like how you said, Luke, even them trying to find the pharaohs of the past, their bodies, they they're looking in the wrong place. Um Overstand that the pyramids is its own type of electromagnetic device. It's really a device. It's really like if we want to talk about or get a deep dive into what a pyramid is, it's an energy source. This is why you find so much either at the bottom or at the side. Um I wrote into one of my books the location of the pyramids and how it's directly aligned with the three stars of Orion's belt. Um, there's so much information when it comes to the pyramids that people are not privy to. And I believe that if we're going to talk about what's to find and what's to look for, the records of the halls of Amenti have they said they still cannot find. So they gonna keep looking for more stuff. People are still looking, and I think that's the real reason why they haven't um got rid of the pyramids, because there's still so much more that they need to discover and learn. What you think about that theory?
But why would you get rid of the pyramids? It's like you getting rid of a piece of greatness. Why would you do that? Like that's
Hey,
some of the
you don't
greatest things out here built. Besides, like, and then you got these
seven
these
wonders of the world.
these what you call it? Rush Mount or Mount what's this what's it called? Rush Mount Rushmore? Like don't nobody want to see that. White men on a mountain. Don't nobody I'd rather see the pyramids. They got more significance. But what do you think? It's a power. The pyramids are a power source too.
Yes, yes, it is a power source. Um, like I
To what
say,
though?
the power source to what? Multiple things. Yesterday, Luke was up there talking. He was talking about gold and stuff like that, like the natural resources of like what this world, this earth is here for, right? Now we can talk about the different reasons of gold, of why it's mined and what that is fueled for. That mineral on a periodic table elements is can power a lot of different things. At the top of each pyramid, there's like a small piece, like at the top of the pyramid, that is encased with. It has, I believe, some gold in it, right, Luke? Am I?
Correct.
Used
Yeah,
to the Islamic Syrians, they took all that off, slaves, and they took all that off when they took over Egypt.
yeah. So when they took that, that's what I'm saying. So all of this stuff is for a reason. I don't know exactly the answer that you're looking for, Israel, of what is power. And what do you think, Luke?
Um, they all well, it's a few speculations. One of the largest speculations is that it was a power source for the different beings that would come and visit. And it was used as a power source for some of their ships to be able to be re-energized, and then they would go back about their business. Um, which would kind of make a little bit of sense if you look at all of the multiple periods throughout the world, including the period that's the pyramid that's down in the Bermuda Triangle. It's always been said that these objects, like Solomon was saying, generate a lot of energy, and it's been speculated that this was the same type of energy Tesla was trying to tap into, which would be an abundance of energy, which wouldn't cost you anything. So in my mind, in my imagination, I would say it was a device that was probably used to power the cities around them without having any direct plugging like we are used to now. We're used to plugging something into the wall and then it comes on. But Tesla was trying to unlock the unlimited energy field so that you wouldn't need to plug anything in for you to be able to send a current through there. So in my imagination, yeah, it was used to be able to send currents of energies that are controlled to whatever they needed to power. Um, Again, I lean more on that being a possibility because you have your water chamber, which we know the water chamber is a fact. That's not like what the news that just came out with. Like the water chamber is an absolute fact. You can go and look it up. You can go and watch. Even Mr. Beast then been down in the water chamber. And water is a depth is one of the main essential tools for being able to collect molecular energy. So it's so much evidence that points to the fact that if they did not do it, this is possibly what they were trying to do. Because we really never even know if they were successful or not. It could have been an experiment, a beautiful experiment. But it looks to me that that's what they were trying to do, man, create energy. And at the top of my theory, it was for when these different ships would come and they would need to recharge and they would need to be able to go throughout, like you would do a gas station.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
know,
ask you. I was gonna ask you, Lou, do you believe also? Because this is one of my theories as well, that it was used also to, travel interdimensionally, like going back and forth from this planet to another, like like a portal, like a Stargate
right,
type
right.
of thing.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I don't think the Stargate side would be more because they were kind of known. They got the speculation that they had their own type of Stargate. So I wouldn't so much say as far as interdimensionally, but I do think on a regular physics, like on just on a basic level of understanding energy and how to power certain things, it really looks like they were trying to create a form of free energy or an abundant amount of energy using the tools that they had at the time, which seems to be very advanced because it seems like every time they uncover something, it seems as if they understand the level of science way more than what we're seeing. I personally believe that the era that they lived in was way more advanced than ours. I believe we're living in the era where everything was destroyed and then we trying to come back. So what we see as technology and it's big to us like cell phones and all of this type of stuff, it seems amazing to us. But anything gonna seem amazing when everything is wiped out and you have to start over again. And we're talking about a civilization that had dynasties for thousands of years. If you think about America, America don't even know what 1,000 years look like. So we can't even fathom what it's like to be existing in a society for that long, an advanced society that is very similar to America. I really wouldn't be surprised, Solomon, if they were definitely doing, like you said, creating dimensional travel, interdimensional travel, abundant amount of electricity because they had been grounded in their knowledge for thousands of years. I can imagine where we're going to be with the knowledge that we have, in thousands of years. We're probably going to have flying cars and all kind of stuff. So I would lean more on that theory that, yeah, man, it was something going on where these pyramids were being used to power something. Just I really don't know what.
Yeah, Mark, we were just saying exactly what's under the pyramids. We were just kind of talking about that right now.
Yeah, Mark, they saying it's coals. Like the picture he showed earlier, it looks like coals. The coals that you would have. If you want to get a little bit more information on it, you can go and check out Billy Carson talks about it a lot. He breaks it down more in depth to what he believes, what his theory is that these coals did and the relationship that they had. Like I say, every place got a boiler room. right? It feels as if we are uncovering the boiler room, where it's loud and it's you didn't know it was in there till you went past that door that says employees only. I feel that's what they're starting to uncover, is what really generates and was really running the pyramids.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, so what about, because I was thinking also about, the Bermuda Triangle and how they say, people who go down or get close to the Bermuda Triangle, they never come back, right? And I had a theory that there's a pyramid underneath there that's still active, right? Because the pyramids that we have that's in Giza, um, they're not active at all. They didn't already didn't went in there, took all the artifacts, and they did their whole little excavation or whatever the word is to go into the pyramids and get as much out of it as possible, relics, um artifacts, all that stuff, right? So it's not an active pyramid, but I have a theory that beneath us in the ocean for the Bermuda Triangle is an active pyramid. What y'all think about that theory?
Yeah, I agree. I believe it's more stuff under the water than it is on top.
I
Uh,
agree
I,
with that 100%.
I believe wonders and they always say other civilizations and different people would be under the water because the top part of Earth is a small percentage of really what Earth is built on. We live on a large planet. We're governing, hence the word governing,
Mm.
a small percentage of the Earth because we are the outer being. We're the people on the outside. But like Solomon said, never really know. I think that it's something definitely going on. And with the Bermuda Triangle, yeah, Solomon, some people do come out, but there's always electrical interference. Sometimes people get lost and things don't come out because they're not able to handle the interference. But there has been people that have traveled through the Bermuda. It's just a very dangerous journey. Something about that area on planet Earth that they really don't understand deal is it causes the area to just, I mean, it's chaotic.
I think
That's
I
why I
think
say,
I think that's coming from the active pyramid. That's what I think.
yeah, yeah, and it's been proven that like, it's proven that it's down there, whether it's man-made or naturally made, is something still speculative. But there's actually more proof that there's a pyramid down in the Bermuda Triangle than there with what they just came out with Egypt. They still kind of covering that. But man, they've been dropped the bag on that it's a structure in the shape of a pyramid that is at the heart of it. The problem is that they cannot get down to it
Mm.
So
because
is it active because it hasn't been touched? Is that what
No,
makes the
it's
pyramid active?
I believe I no, I believe it's active because it's on. Like how I was saying that like I was saying that, at the top of the pyramid, was like at the bottom, we talking about the water. What is it called again, Luke? You said that the water
the
that's
coils.
the coils, not just the
Oh, the water
coils,
chamber. Water
the
chamber.
yeah, the chamber that is like doing the energy at the top, it's flowing the way it's flowing, it has at the top that um where it's not there no more, but the little gold plated thing at the top of the pyramid that helps it activate. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on it so I can talk about it. But there's it's active at the top of the pyramid, and that's what's making the swirling in the ocean, like right there for the Bermuda Triangle. So that's what I'm saying about active. Like it's actively going.
Yeah, I see
Because
what you're
if you
saying. But
turned it on, on in Egypt, if it was still able to turn on in Egypt, something would shoot out towards the sky.
So that's something to look up. Like, how do you turn it on and off? How do you turn
Oh, how you
a
activate
pyramid
it?
on and off? Yeah, yeah, that's the real question.
That is a good
yeah,
question.
that's a good question. But then, and like you said, Solomon, I think if it was any pyramid that is still active, it will be the one in the Bermuda Triangle because it's the hardest one to get to. So you
Yes.
would have to have some kind of advanced technology in order to even be a threat to turn it off. If we think about, the Gaza Strip, it's not that hard to get to these pyramids. They're on the outer layer. Anybody that conquers that land has control. Don't mean you understand it, but you now have control. So it's a little
Hmm.
easier to manipulate that stuff than it is things that are deep in the ocean and literally, not, I mean, literally the most chaotic place on planet Earth when it comes to the ocean is the Bermuda Triangle. It's an absolute fact. No science is that you ain't got to do peer reviews for that one. Every person gonna tell you who studies that, like, yeah, that area there, we tell our ships go around it because we have too many issues, electrical malfunctions, people getting lost, waves flipping ships. Something is going on in that area. So the question is always why. It's gonna always be, well, why? Why is that happening right there, but
Yeah, and
not?
that's everybody too.
They
That's
probably
not
still got
just the United
mermaids over
States.
there, and who knows?
Ooh, we going deep dive, and then you talking about
Ah,
mermaids, Lord. Okay.
ah.
uh, there is evidence of so-called fish people, but I mean, we can get into the whole Atlantis thing too.
We all fish people. Y'all don't see them
Yeah,
videos.
absolutely. Like
Yeah.
Atlantis, who knows? Atlantis might be in the Bermuda Triangle area.
Well, technically, Atlantis wasn't even actually at that area, or
It
that
might be Atlanta.
civilization
Who
wasn't
knows?
there
There's
at first.
crazy stuff that be happening in Atlanta,
No,
man.
it wasn't even down here in the Georgia area. It's not Atlantis wasn't where they say the Atlantic Ocean is. It was not that area per se. Atlantis, the people of Atlantis actually were like plant-based people first. They were people who were able to walk on the land first, but they were able to be they were advanced enough to do the water too. They were like masters of both the land and the sea.
I like them people in what's that? Black Panther. I forget this which one. If it was the
Yeah,
second or
the
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 third
second
one.
Black Panther movie,
Yeah.
some similar to that. Some similar to that. You gotta understand or overstand that some lands are they always come up and down through the earth. So like there's an island, like islands. There are some islands when it comes to, I guess, the ocean itself, sometimes will come and erupt through the water and make an island, and then sometimes those islands disappear and go down. So land is always moving. It's never really still. This goes back to my flat earth theory. But
That's crazy. Cause if you round, you always rolling. What you talking about?
yeah, you always rolling, I guess.
I
You
mean, it's
trying to
always moving.
Israel, you trying to get me started,
Uh,
bro. Stop trying to get me started, man. I was just
no,
joking.
it's not.
But yeah, we can definitely family keep talking about this pyramid situation. We're gonna keep a close eye to see if there's gonna be more information coming out about it, because we're definitely intrigued to see if there's even more that they have found. Because there's still more to discover when it comes to um Egypt and the pyramids and stuff like that. I just believe, some people do need to leave stuff alone, because that's how y'all be opening up them curses and stuff. That stuff real. I don't care what nobody say. That stuff real. Okay.
Yeah,
They was really working with their powers and their ancestors back then.
yeah. It's been a lot of archaeological. I can't even think of say a word right now. That lost.
Archaeological.
No, no, the archaeologists. I think that's how you say it. The people
Oh,
who actually
archaeological.
who
Oh,
go
yeah.
in, and they've discovered stuff. A lot of them have lost their lives. Documented facts, especially the person that went again got uncovered King Tut's tomb, um, passed away in 2 days, right after he
Dang.
discovered.
They up
And that's
there.
one
It's like
story, but
what's
that's
that?
like one of the most
Scorpion
intense
King.
stories. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of the most intense stories with King Tut, but it is not the only documented
Tutankhamun.
proven story. That literally there are a lot of them within a week that pass away after making some of these large discoveries that we see in museums. I learned that when we had went to New York. When Solomon and I went to New York many years ago, you would usually find out. And I wish we had time to elaborate more, Solomon, when we was there. I didn't think about it now as I'm older and more wisdom. I'm like, man, I should have asked him, like maybe if he can give a number. But I do remember when we were going through the museum and he kept showing us things and he kept saying, yeah, the person that found this, but they dead now. The person that found this was such, oh, but they dead now. But it just seems like there's a common pattern
Like,
to when
yeah, the
you uncover
person,
certain things. Yeah,
you gonna die.
them
You
curses.
gonna cover
Yeah,
it? Yeah, you gonna die. The
yeah,
secret things belong to God.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, we gonna have to plan a trip to go back there because I got a video clip of us in New York. I should pull it up. I should pull it up. I'm gonna find it. But yeah, like how you said about the chaos and the stuff that's keeping that that pyramid active. There's some other chaos that has happened over the weekend, fellas, and I know y'all know where I'm going with this because it's our last topic of the day. But the chaos of the NFL draft happened this weekend because of this man right here, Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, was not taken despite being a top 3 quarterback of the draft because there wasn't that many quarterbacks taken this year. He did not get drafted in the first round, the second, third, or the fourth. But he got drafted in the 5th round, the 144th pick, went to the Cleveland Browns. Now let's get this story into perspective.
The biggest part is
Congratulations on the
that he
man that he
got
got
drafted.
drafted.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's what
that
I was
part.
saying. The great, let me get this out the way. The great part, congratulations, young man. You have done what you wanted to accomplish in your life, and that is to be drafted by an NFL team. You have worked hard with your father and your brother to become one of the best that you can be. Okay. Now let's pull this back. Fellas, despite him being one of the only top 3 quarterbacks to actually be of note, he failed in the draft. And here's why. People are saying, or I'm going to say what the NFL is saying, he's arrogant. Okay. He had horrible interviews when it came to him getting drafted by a team. All of them had said that he got into the interview process and basically said, well, why should I pick you? Well, I mean, I'm going to be gone in the top 5 picks already. So, it's up to you. Then it says his father, Deion Sanders, who is also a controversy or type of person, he put all the confidence into his son. He said where he wasn't going to go, where he wasn't going to be drafted. He also said, hey, I'm doing just like how we did with Eli Manning. Why would he go to a sorry team? So Deion said, hey, I'm a father, my son's good, he shouldn't be going to a sorry team. All of this is going around of the reasons of why he basically got showed by the NFL that the NFL run this, not your father. And they made him wait like 2 days before they picked him. And then they picked him to a team that already got 4 other quarterbacks.
Mhm.
They
My
giving
my
him
thought,
easy money. At this point, it's easy money. I wouldn't care. I still got picked. I still got drafted.
yeah, the 5th round though is so
But you
so
still
compared to the
got
first round.
drafted. You still got money. You know, at the end of the day, that's what matters.
It's not that for them though, Israel. You coming from a family that already got money. Money ain't got nothing to do with it. His father could take care of him for the rest of his life and 4 or 5 generations with the amount of money he got. It
Yep.
ain't
He
about the
just
money.
he just signed a deal to for the Colorado Buffalo for him to stay the coach out there, to coach the college kids. So he definitely got a
Oh,
new bag. So it ain't about the money. I was just gonna start off by saying I think I'm gonna go on a little rant because last week Luke went on a rant. I think it's my turn because this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the confidence of a black man is still feared in today's time. There is no reason because you don't like his attitude or what he said in the interview or how you
Always.
don't think his father, like, because his father spoke so highly of him that you be like, nah, we ain't gonna take him. We gonna teach him. Matter of fact, he ain't even gonna be in the second or third round. We finna make him drop all the way to round 5.
Mm.
It's crazy. Now there's people are saying, oh well, he's probably not that good of a quarterback anyway. You had your draft was weak. I think only 5 quarterbacks got drafted this year.
it was one of the weakest drafts.
The
One of the
weakest
weak.
draft when it comes to quarterbacks, bro. And you're telling me some people that y'all never heard of got drafted before him. Congratulations to Cam Ward. He was the first one, number 1 overall pick. He's a quarterback, black quarterback, and congratulations to him. But then on top of them waiting, fellas, he got a prank call from the Falcons defensive coordinator's son, who went through his father's iPad to get Shedeur's number, called him on draft day, said, hello, this is such and such and such and such from the New Orleans Saints. And Shedeur was like, man, yeah, we've been waiting on you, man. I've been waiting on you to call me and all this other. Prank called this man while he was waiting.
Diabolical.
So now you got your daddy about to be in trouble now because the NFL is now investigating your father. He apologized, but still, that was crazy.
That's
I
wild.
think this is another case of white America being afraid of a confident black man.
All the time. That's all the time, man.
Well, what y'all want to say about this situation?
You want to go in, Israel?
White America gonna always be afraid of a confident black man, especially an assertive black man with a plan and a black man with a dream who has a purpose and one who is, I would say, self-assured and confident. What you call it? It is, yeah, secure within themselves. People like insecure people. People like people who are battling with their themselves and things of that nature. But when you're confident, it gives people a whole nother level of being scared because they're like, oh, this guy is confident. That's a rarity. He's arrogant because he's confident. Nah, but that's always what they want it to be. They want a black man to be demasculated and timid and things of that nature. But no, when you know what you just gotta also know that people gonna want to show you up, and you got to plan for that too. Be like, hey, this is what it should be, but you got to plan. This may not be what it may be because people are who they are and they do what they do all the time. So he should have expected that.
Mm.
That's
Was
my
it
2
was it
cents.
right though, Israel? Like when it comes to
It
the
ain't never
NFL, like
right.
is
It
that
ain't
how
never
they supposed
right.
to do business?
No, it ain't never right. If you gonna pick them first. But people always gonna want to do what they want to do. They want to show somebody up. They gonna do it just because. Oh, people have they feelings and they sentiments, and then they start thinking about themselves and when they was his age and all this other stuff. But everybody is different. He probably practiced 10 times more than an average person did. Back in the day, or whoever decided that they wanted to make him the 6th round pick or whatever. People be jealous for all type of reasons. He come from money. Oh, it don't matter. He could go last.
Mm.
It's just stupid stuff.
Mm.
At the end of the day, it don't. Yeah, they be jealous over the smallest things.
What you think about that, Luke?
Um, yeah, I think this was a case. I'm gonna show you that you ain't in as much control as you think you are.
Mm.
Um, I really, whether it's right or wrong, I'm older now. It's hard. I don't play the right or wrong game as much because right or wrong depends on the person who looking at it. I always say that moral sway. Now, whether it's legal, it's one thing. Law is not something that really sways. It's either legal or it ain't legal. It's not legal. But morals, it sways depending on the person in the society. What I may see as right, a whole nother world side of the world may see as wrong. And if it's a
Mm.
collective of them, they gonna look at me like I'm crazy. I'm gonna look at them like they're crazy. They were playing a very risky game, but I don't think it's a game that they were not qualified to play, especially with his father and the way he was speaking about him and the interviews he did. But in reality, his father has earned the right to be able to play the game that way. His son has earned it by being one of the best. Possibly, to me, he was supposed to be in the top three, easy. Not from just
He was,
hearing
yeah.
his name. I watched his videos. I watched him. I looked at the flaws and the things that he's good at. It's not outstanding player. Bottom line. So yeah, they wanted to show him a lesson. There was a collective that said we're gonna teach them that they ain't running nothing. No matter how good of a player he is, they ain't running nothing. And it's a little bogus, but that's the game we playing when we playing. You're still dealing with other people's money. The owners of these teams got way more money than these players. They paid the players. So sometimes you got to be careful because it could be a lot of different choices. And I really don't feel like they really lost any sleep over it. I would not be surprised if they are eating off of the media. Because what we come to learn over years, it ain't about if what people saying about you good or bad. They need to just keep my name in your mouth. If you keep my name in your mouth, eyes are gonna be on me. So I wouldn't be surprised if him and his father was laughing. Like, ha, 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 that's what y'all did. Okay, cool. Because it would be expected with the game that they were playing with being boastful. And to point out what you said, Solomon, yes, this is a example of you're not gonna do what you want to do. You a black man. You're dealing in a league that y'all don't own it, which is the truth. At the end of the day, it is the bottom line truth. There are more white people that watch football than black people. There are more white people that do a lot of these things than black people do. That isn't really, honestly, I never really seen this football and sports to be our thing. I think we're good at it, but I don't really see it as like a thing that like, oh yeah, that's our thing. No, no, we don't own it. We don't own it. We are employees, and there are employees that get paid a lot of money, but they still an employee. So I'm not really mad at neither side, to be honest with you. I mean, it is a little bogus. I think they got their feelings hurt because the confidence that him and his father have is not something that's normal. Usually you see people coming in there a little bit more, the team. But we have to think about where, him and his father has come from, especially his father. They have come a long way. So you can't just negate their personality because their personality had to help them endure, especially his father. And his father made the NFL billions of dollars. Not because we really like seeing people run up and down the field. That's not why people watch football, bro. It's the chemistry. It's the rivals. It's the grind. It's the dedication that has built up these brands like the NFL and the NBA over the years. It's the color within it more than just the sport. The sport is the basis of the cake. But I believe he had all right to boast his son up. I believe he had every right to say what he needed to say because he's not a father that's speaking from someone on the outside. He's saying, no, I have prepared my son. I have told them and I have gotten him ready for what his bosses are going to expect. So he needs to go in and he needs to perform the way that I have trained him to perform. And then you come to tell me that he did it and still got picked in the fifth round? You crazy. We know y'all was trying to send a message. That boy, at the most, round two. round two. But the fifth round is a message being sent. Like we finna show you better than we can tell you. Because if you think about it, there's nothing any of the owners could actually say to humble the Sanders family. So the only power that they have was in the power of choice. But then again, ain't nobody gonna just let him not get picked because that's almost like seeing $1 billion, right? You're seeing $1 billion birth another $1 billion, and you just walk past it. There's an opportunity for him to build up whatever team he goes on. But yeah, there was a lesson that had to be shown. Like, nah, we gonna do it the way we want to do it, and we gonna show you because you're a little too cocky, and woo, woo, woo. But I just think it was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
I
Even
mean, I would have sped out that humble pie. Like who y'all think y'all are to humble me because I feel confident in myself. This is what I'm saying though, that kind of irritated me. Archie Manning did this for his son Eli Manning.
hmm
Had said, if you get traded by a team that we don't like, I mean, if you get picked by a team that we don't like, you gonna get traded to something else. And he spoke that before the draft happened. So when Dion does it,
And what kind
you
of
you
what
want to
color are they
trade him
again?
white.
All right then.
So now what should we do as the black community about this
ain't nothing,
situation?
ain't
Should
nothing.
we boycott the NFL? Because this is what I'm saying. It they get away with stuff like this because there's no change. There's nobody's. You know how many people get mad at me because I'm arrogant? They say that's one of the most irritating thing about me. Solomon, you a cool person. The thing that pisses us off about you is because you're so arrogant. Yes, because I do stuff you don't do.
Yeah, that's always gonna be the thing. If
The
you
the
do
stuff
something,
that
people gonna
the
do, it's
stuff
gonna
that
be
I
there.
don't even like to do, I'm doing. The way my life switches sometimes and stuff that I go through, you would fold under the pressure that I have. So yeah. So when God helps me, the great I am helps me go and pushes me through my storm, and I get to a better shore.
Yes,
Yeah,
Lord.
I'm gonna praise and I'm gonna act real boastful about it
Amen.
because I got a mighty God that I serve.
Yes, sir.
So yeah,
Yes,
I'm
Lord.
cocky. Yeah, I'm arrogant. Y'all talking about telling the world about something. Look here. I was just talking to Luke off camera backstage about how we are constantly growing, and I got an email or a message today about how I'm doing such a good job being a great representation for the nation and the church and stuff. How great of an ambassador I'm being. Now, my humble side is always thank you. But if I
That's
really wanted
true.
to talk my stuff, what you gonna do about it? Y'all don't own nothing. You got to put stuff in your name. This is ownership. They talking about some. Shedeur probably don't really care about football like that because he got his own brand. He got a legendary brand. He knows how to make money without the NFL. That's what he's taught to do. Because at any given moment, he might get hit by one of them defensive linemen and he get injured and he can't play football no more.
That part. That part.
Hey, up, they throw him to the side once you ain't useful no more. You done.
Mm-hmm.
So he was taught by his father to get some off the field stuff going before he step on the field. And y'all mad about that? Like you said, Luke, if they didn't draft him at all, that's $1 billion that they just lost.
Mm-hmm.
And they ain't gonna
So
let
who
that
y'all
slide.
think y'all are to because it's your organization or it's your business? Cool. You the boss. Cool. But that's just like working at Family Dollar and you the best employee, you employee of the month, and your boss come in trying to tell you we gonna cut your hours. Why? I'm the best employee here.
All right. That part.
Oh,
Well,
because
you
you
ask,
don't like the way I'm selling,
Mm.
you don't like the way I'm working.
well,
That's a control problem.
you asked a good question though. You said, "What if we boycott it?" I don't think that would. Me personally, I don't think that would even do anything. The amount of people who culturally, black people who watch it, it's not. It'll change their bottom line You need the continent to be behind you for that. And this is what that's why, like I say, wisdom has got me to understand this more. The continent is not interested in football. That ain't even what they consider to be football. So that's kind of always our downside when it comes to situations like this. Now, if you think about when they boycotted the bus system, why was that so effective? Because it killed the bottom line for their business that was running it in that area. Meaning in California, they cared nothing about it. It had to be in that area to where it affected the business owners. The problem with the NFL is they are very big. You either got to create your own NFL, and even if you do create one, you have to be able to rally your people up enough to support you, which we already know when it comes to black people is almost impossible. So in my mind, it's like you're in someone else's house, sitting in their couch, eating their food, drinking their water. The chances of you being able to change all of these things I named, giving them new water, a new house, and all that is very low. In situations like this, I think you got to put your head down. And I don't know, Solomon. I think that's what him and his father gonna do. They're gonna put their head down. I don't think the world gonna get the response that they think they're gonna get. He may get switched up later on, but his father looked like
So
he
you
played
saying they
chess.
gonna eat the humble pie?
Because again, there is trading, right? There is a lot of different things. When you playing chess, you do not have to react the way everybody else react. And we know for a fact the world play checkers. You wave something in their face and they that's not how chess works. You got to take 4, 5, 6, 7 different moves before you really know what's going on in the game. So I don't think his father gonna really overreact to this. I think he finna take it. They're gonna celebrate, and it's gonna become one of them things to where it's remembered. Like, hey, this is what they be on. But it is one of the most blatant levels of, nah, you ain't running nothing. Like fifth, third, or fourth would have been spectacle. Even fourth would have been like that's disrespectful. But fifth, that boy can play. Like, and somebody made a point. They said, well, Peyton Manning, when he didn't get picked into the sixth round, I think Peyton Manning was like 199th pick or something like that. So that is a good point.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tom Brady was like
Tom Brady,
seventh
my bad.
round. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Brady was 7th round, and look where he started, where he's at. He's the greatest NFL quarterback of all time with 7 Super Bowls. So we can definitely, like I say, be optimistic about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like though, who y'all be thinking y'all is to try to humble somebody because a kid is cocky and confident, and
Yeah, they don't.
his father is a Hall of Famer. His father ain't just was, oh, he played in NFL. His father is a Hall of Famer that y'all inducted into the Hall of Fame. That there's a statue of Deion Sanders in y'all Hall of Fame. So to
No,
disrespect his son like this is crazy work.
yeah, no, I don't think they like that. I think we in a day and time to where any man, especially black man that's showing confidence, really becomes an issue. We see it now in the dating realm. We see it in relationships. It's almost like the passive gets rewarded, but the dominant gets punished. And it used to be the other way around, where the dominant would get rewarded. But I still have faith in that mindset that Deion Sanders have, and he's instilled in his sons. Um, hell, you even look at him; he got divorced. It's not that character is not like they just every year that go by it becomes less and less unliked, but it does not change the fact that it's still effective. It's still effective in the world that we live in. It's just they're making it now to where it's not liked, especially if you a black man. Like, nah. But you could just be a man, period. They're like, who do you think you is? And hell, now they got the women going against us now. So it's like you either sit somewhere and you be quiet and you just say yes, sir. And at one point, our women was on our side. They used to be like, nah, nah, that ain't. They even got our own women going after the black men because they have a certain that dominance, that they call it arrogant, but you got to be a little arrogant to be a winner. You
Exactly.
can't be a winner if you don't have some kind of arrogance in you. It's like it's not gonna happen. You're gonna be a loser. That's what you're gonna
That
be. You're
part.
either a winner or a
Yeah.
loser. There ain't no in between,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know. But
Oh,
it seems a new pattern is like, oh, you a man and you black. Nah, we need to humble you.
That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. I don't
That-
I don't like that. They're gonna keep doing this. They're gonna do this to Shedeur Sanders. They can do this to anybody. That's the problem I
but
have.
that's why you just got to stay in your lane. You know, if you don't deal with everybody, they ain't got to say you this or you that. I just don't deal with you. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know how I am. But everybody don't need to know that, so I stay to myself.
And what was the other thing I wanted to talk about too on this subject is um be bold. You know what I'm saying? You have a plan. You actually have other people that is ready to help and assist you, Shedeur, and your future endeavors. The NFL isn't um
You still there? Apologies. I think Solomon.
Mic check, mic check.
You,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I
What
hear
happened
you.
to Solomon? I think he might be having technical difficulties at this moment.
Yeah, I think he is too. I
Ooh,
wanted to hear what
Lord.
the question was gonna be.
Yeah, me too. We're gonna have to
But
have a cooking with Israel
well,
segment.
kudos to him for at least I don't know what just happened.
you
But
back though.
yeah,
Go ahead.
like I say, just I'm glad that he has started doing the off the field things to continue to grow his wealth. That's basically where I was getting to. Um be bold. Black man, be bold. Do not let society dictate your confidence. Be bold. He's playing, like you said, Luke, he's playing chess. This is another avenue for his own wealth. So just be bold. All right.
Hold up, is that what the acronym stand for?
What?
Debo.
Devo. No, I just said be bold.
Debo. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Um, just a quick little update for our NBA fans. Just a quick little update.
Oh snap.
Luke, your boy John Morant got swept by Shai Gildress Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder. They swept the Grizzlies. That's crazy. So they're the first team that's going to the second round of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I told you when we talked about that last time though. OKC don't play.
I did not think they was gonna sweep it. That's crazy.
OKC don't play. I don't.
And
I would love.
he dropped the rap verse. And he dropped the rap verse on Ja. That was funny too.
Yeah, I would love to see them win the entire thing, but I don't believe they are. They're a high scoring team. They're a very well equipped team. I would give it maybe one more year, and that makes me a little nervous because repeating seasons like this to this day, they are still one of the greatest teams against the spread.
Yeah.
If you was to take $100 and you bet every single game that they have played, you would be up.
Mm,
That lets you know how well a team is because it's not about winning, it's about consistency when it comes to the spread. Their
I'm finna say,
consistency,
don't let me start betting on them.
man,
My
their
money
their
ain't up.
consistency is better than their consistency is better than the Lakers. Their consistency is better than the Boston Celtics. But that does not mean you're gonna win the championship. So we
Yeah.
gotta still kind of wait and see.
So we got a tie series at 2-2 apiece with the Nuggets and the Clippers. The Minnesota Timberwolves, what I thought was going to be an excellent series against the Lakers, are up 3-1 against LeBron
Ooh.
and Luca. So Anthony Edwards
Yeah.
been
I
showing
seen
out.
that yesterday.
Anthony Edwards been showing out. Um, All this Shannon Sharp talking about Lakers in 5. It looked like it's gonna be the Timberwolves in 5, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I shouldn't say it look like the Timberwolves gonna be in 5.
We got Golden State up 2-1 against the Warriors. I mean against the Rockets. Cleveland is up 3-0 against the Heat, and right now at halftime they're blowing them out 72-33. So it looked like the Heat just gave up on this game. They just like just get swept, and they just gonna go on vacation.
So they quit. Yep, they just quit.
Yeah, they quit on it. So that's what it looked like at halftime. Y'all 72-33. That's ridiculous. The coach should be cussing y'all out in the locker room right now.
They need to start playing 21 blowout.
The coach getting ready to go to Cancun too. He getting his bag.
he got his bags packed too. They all go on
been
vacation
texting
together.
his wife. Yep, he texting his wife right now. Like, hey, honey, get the bags ready.
Vacation time.
Yes,
I'll be like, y'all can't get one game though. Come on now. And then y'all just game 4. Y'all just like it's over. Y'all quit.
Because it is over.
We got the Indiana Now this is crazy. You got the Indiana Pacers. They're up 3-1 against the Milwaukee Bucks.
I told you they was better than the Bucks.
But you got Damian Lillard and you got Giannis.
You named 2 people. The Pacers are made of multiple people. They are a phenomenal young team.
Yeah, you're right. The New York Knicks is up against 3-1 against the Detroit Pistons, which I thought shouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place. But hold on. They got cheated. The Pistons got cheated last game by the refs. The refs had to come out. I mean, the NBA had to come out and rectify the call at the last call of the game that gave them the 3-1 lead, or this would have been a 2-2 series if the refs didn't mess up the game. And then we got the last team of the first round is the Boston Celtics versus the Magic, and they're up 3-1. They should be.
Mm-hmm. This might be a Boston Timberwolves. Or Boston. I say this might be it almost feel like either Boston Timberwolves final matchup.
That'll be cool. I would watch that.
I would prefer a Boston. I would prefer a Boston and an OKC matchup last, because that makes me feel like I don't know what's gonna happen, which makes it more excited. You know,
I'd rather see them in the Western Conference Finals too. I'd rather it be the Timberwolves versus the Thunder. Mm-hmm. I think that would be cool in the Western Conference, and then, like you say, just take OKC on top of them. But I would like to see Timberwolves on top of that. I don't care. That would be cool. I would watch that. I will sit down and actually take the time out of my day and watch that.
Yeah, I don't like the Timberwolves, so maybe it's my bias. They the house of disappointment. They don't ever do what they're supposed to do.
Anthony Edwards is like Michael Jordan Jr., so that's why it's like that's why I'm really a fan of his, and he crazy for that baby mama stuff. All right. Last but not least, just something to mention on the episode today. Sinners was a movie that came out this weekend that was directed by Ryan Coogler, which is the person who directed Black Panther, the person who directed Creed. He's always been working with Michael B. Jordan. I actually went to go see the movie last Tuesday. I'm going to do a breakdown of the movie Sinners. Fellas, have y'all got a chance to watch Sinners yet? Or y'all know about the movie?
Yes, I got a chance to watch Sinners. I watched it on bootleg. Yes.
Yeah, so you haven't got a chance, but I'm going to definitely break that down because there's so many different hidden meanings of that movie. Well, Sarah, I'm going. It's going to be a spoil. I'm going to spoil it because it's going to be a reaction and a breakdown. You have to watch the movie, Empress.
Now's the time for you to log out if you ain't seen the movie.
No, I'm not gonna do it on the show. I'm not gonna do it on the show. It's gonna be a separate video under the my reactions and breakdown section. That I'm going to talk about it, and one of the first things I can say off the top without spoiling it. It came out the weekend Sinners came out the weekend of Easter. So I just say that right off the top. Just the strategic planning of the release of the movie is something to even think about. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a deep dive and do my reaction to that because that movie is popping. It's popular. It's good. And I think all black people should see it. Now, there's people on the internet saying that the movie got cursed and all that other stuff, putting all types of stuff in your mind and all that. Whatever you want to think, it's up to you. But I'm gonna say it was a good movie. So if you want to watch it, go ahead and take a moment to watch it. All right, fellas, y'all know what time it is. It's a real small, quick ask the Pharaohs. I only got one question today, and it's coming from the Imperial Princess Joy again. She has been giving me some really good questions lately. And that question is: do you believe that men, this ain't a color about it, it's just men, period. Do you believe men, or why do you think men want to control women?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy question. Go
It is
ahead,
a crazy
Luke.
question.
Take it away.
You don't throw it on me, huh? You said she said do we believe men want to and why, right?
Why
Yeah.
do we believe men want to? It's crazy assumption.
Um, yes, I do believe men prefer to be in control. Um, when you say women, I don't believe there are men that actively look towards random women. It's usually women they're in a relationship with. And the
Mm.
reason that they prefer to be in control is because once they come into the agreement of being in a relationship and taking accountability for your well-being, your security, your safety, your financial needs, your health, anything that you need, you want to be able to control what you are in most responsibility for. So if I own a car and I'm responsible for the car, I will want to be in control on where I take that car. If I take that car to an area and it's high vandalism and it's high theft and robbery and something happens to my car, no one cares because I should have known better. I should have been in control of that situation to know that there's a high likelihood. So there ain't nobody coming to save. And I'm not saying that to equal women to cars. I'm just using cars because we all understand what it's like to have a car, right? It's just something simple to be able to make the analogy.
No, you
But
trying to say ownership, Luke. That's what they trying to say. You know these women in the comments gonna say that.
yeah, I know they don't like that. But I mean, like I say all the time, we don't like to be the person that gets up when something is wrong or there's a weird sound in the middle of the night. And it's a lot of things we don't like. There's days we don't like to do certain things, but it comes with the agreement. Um, I think we live in a time now to where the agreement is like it seems as if it was a problem, but I don't believe it was because how did we all get here if it was so bad? You know, I, like how did all of these humans get here? If men running things was so bad, we wouldn't have no cell phones, you wouldn't have any cars, you wouldn't have none of that because it would be so bad. Like we wouldn't be able to do it. So that's the answer to that. And the reason why, though, like I said, because it's our responsibility to make sure as our woman or a woman that's close to us, that we are responsible for that you have and you are in the best environment and situation as possible. So it becomes like, yeah, you don't really want to be the one trying to sound controlling, but we know as men what happens when you are not in control. That's a scary situation to be in as a man. That's usually where a lot of bad problems have. And the moment something happens to your woman, the first question people always ask is, well, where was your husband? Where was your boyfriend? Why would he let you get in the situation? Why he ain't come change your tire? You on the side of the road. All of these things always come back to us. And they're not wrong for asking these questions because we supposed to take care of you. We supposed to make sure you have everything that you need, not a little bit of what you need, everything that you need. We're supposed to make sure that you have access to it. And if we cannot make sure you do, we're supposed to humble ourselves as men and find the resources to get you what you need. So that's my answer to that question.
Reread the question. I think we got off topic. Reread the question for me. Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, I know the question was, I think he said, what he said, Solomon, why are women in control? I mean, are men trying to be controlling and why? Like, why do they feel it necessary to try? I mean,
Why do men want to be controlling and why do they feel this is necessary?
yeah, like why they do it? Are they trying to be in control of women and why?
It's crazy. Every man is different. We could start off there. Some men, it was a whole nother question I had with
Oh
one.
man, I was muted this whole time.
Yeah, you muted. Um, almost lead me to another conversation I had with one of my lady friends about uh men who have women that make more than them, but that's a whole nother question, conversation. But I believe it's an ego trip. They want to feel good about controlling stuff. I like people to help make things easier. Let's say in a relationship, like I ain't trying to have control over everything, but it would be easier if you'd be able to have control over certain things. As in that lady, she got her control over things, I got my control over things. It's a equidistant type of relationship where it's a give and take. But the men who want to control everything, they on a power trip. Some men like that. They get off on that. And yeah, as a yeah, they do it to beat their chest. But a king ain't got to say he a king. You just know he a king. He walk in the room, everybody looking to see who that is. He ain't got to say who he is. He ain't got to say it. They just know it.
Why
They know it.
why do you know he a king though?
You know it. That's like
How?
saying, what do you mean how? You go into a room, right? You
Mhm.
know who confident and who ain't. That's like the one who flashy and the one who ain't flashy. The one who always loud. The loudest one, it's the saying that goes, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room, right? I ain't gotta let you know my power to let you know that I got power. But it's like you walk in the room, we could put it on a whole daddy sense, right? You walk in the room. Before you walk in the room, it's chaos. Daddy come in the room, everybody start acting like they got some sense because they know the land of the law, the hand of the law. The law of the land is about to get laid down when things are out of order.
So let me
Okay?
ask you this. Let me ask you this, Israel. So if you walked in the room, you and your lady walked in the room, and your lady walking, but she by herself, and somebody go talking to her, right? And he's spitting his game. What you do? You let them just keep talking to her?
Oh,
Do you step up?
no, all I
Right?
gotta do is walk up. All I gotta do is
Right.
walk up. And I walk, and then they know. It's like It's like it's something that you can't tell, but once it happens. It's like you talking it's the same situation. You talking to a girl, another dude walk up. It's like, oh, you ain't gotta ask because you know.
All right, right.
It,
So
it's
then,
like just about the chain of the animal kingdom. You know who the king is? Or his presence says enough. My demeanor gonna say enough. As soon as I come in, step to the bar, step to the picture, the lady gonna act a certain way. Things gonna change. The dynamic will change.
That is
That's
true.
just
That
like
is true. Because when I walk into a room, everybody be like, "Oh my God, Solomon's here."
so
either
is it
that.
fair to say when you walked up? Is it fair to say that when you walked up to that area, you were in control of the situation? You
The
were in
situation
control
got
of the
controlled
environment.
once my presence was there. But
And
then
that's what her
sometimes you
question
ain't.
is.
But
Her question
sometimes you
is,
ain't.
we control. We do control. It seems like we control even subconsciously, just by our presence.
Yeah, the
There is a
presence is
level of
control,
control
but it's
that got
not being a control freak. Because some people like, oh no, you got to do this. I got to know this. That's a control freak.
Oh
You
no,
gotta
yeah, I agree
know
with
and do everything. Like, nah, I don't need to know and do everything. It's just like there's a certain order of certain things in this, so it won't be out of order. But it's not to like. It goes back to my previous statement. It's like I got to order of things, and she got to order of things. When I come to the house, I come into the kitchen. The order of the kitchen, whoever got control of the kitchen. And I ain't gonna say it's my order. I ain't gonna say it's her order. But if that's her thing, boom, I'm gonna get out the kitchen because that's her domain of control, right?
you.
Boom.
Yeah.
Coming to the house that ain't your house is in the domain of control of whoever the man of the house is or whoever house that is. Certain things, but that goes with, when you got morals, values, respect, and things of that nature to know that. Now, if you just out here willy nilly, you're gonna get showed up. You know,
And I believe personally, before Solomon go in, I believe it is the fewer than the latter. Like it's not a one statistically. I'm still waiting for anybody to prove me wrong. Most people ain't getting in relationships, so these problems are not as current as they used to be because most people ain't dating. Most people ain't having children no more. Um,
mm,
but for the few that are, for the few, which the few, it's a
the
few people that
faithful
are still
few.
trying. The faithful are still trying. I mean, I get where you're coming from, Israel. I don't think though it's like it's a large amount of people being like uh controlling in a way to where it's not healthy. So in my mind, it's like you said, you can't be crazy with it, but you can't be scared to say that you're in control because then you ain't in control. That's like if someone was to ask, so who's the head of the household, and then you look at your wife and you like, is it me or is it you? We clearly know it ain't you because you had to ask the
If
question.
you gotta ask, right? Let's just go back to the statement. The whole statement. People be like, "Oh, what they say? A Chrysler look like a Phantom or a Bugatti until a Bugatti come up or something. Which one is it? One of those. And then it's like boom, when it come up, you know that Chrysler ain't no Bugatti. You know it ain't. It just gotta pull up. It ain't gotta say what it is, who it is. You just know. What they
Yeah.
say, you just know I'm him. You know who him is.
Mhm.
He just gotta pull up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say, this reminds me of a thing that Luke says to me all the time. He says that the emotional men are in jail, right? So
Mhm.
that means you got to be in control of yourself at all times.
Control
As
your
as
emotions.
a man. So if I'm in control of me, then yeah, I'm in control of the situation. But am I controlling another woman? No. Your aura, because this is what people are saying and the kids are saying in 2025, your aura. Your aura is what makes a woman actually be in line. Your power, men who's listening to this podcast, you don't ever control somebody else. Somebody submits to you. They give
That
you the
Mm.
part.
power.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Preach.
They don't
Yeah.
never, you don't never take, you can't really take control of anybody else. They have to give you
Oh
the
man.
power.
That leads into sinners. You gotta give permission. Oh, spoiler alert.
See, you spoiling the movie. They just said don't
Uh,
spoil the movie.
you gotta go watch it. If they ain't seen it by tomorrow, $5 Tuesday, we gonna spoil it anyway the next Monday.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna drop that video this week. But yeah, so I don't believe, like I was telling her, and this is something that goes back to the movement back of 2016, 2017, of the saying that the black woman is God, right? And understand that women really have the most influence. And I broke it down in a situation like this. There are male leaders in the Coptic faith, multiple male leaders. But there are Israel. What an empress is getting mad at you for saying what you said it about the movie.
Who getting mad at me? Who getting mad at? Oh, which empress is this? I'm gonna have to see what empress is that. Where's she from?
That's Empress Sarah. That's she from our church. So,
I don't know what that
um,
is.
there are multiple men that are the leaders, the face of the church in the Coptic the Coptic nation, right? But when you look deeper and a deep diving of the ongoings of every temple, the women are the spiritual teachers. They outnumber the spiritual teachers when it comes to the men in the Coptic faith.
And why
So what
is
am I
that?
saying? I'm saying this. Men do want they do want that woman because what did you say, Luke? Well, how do you know that king just walked in there? To be honest, yeah, it could be money, yeah, it could be flash, but it's also the women he walk up in that place with.
And how they
Okay,
respect him and how they
that's
treat
how
him.
they respect him. Okay, this is why I have so many women that I got. But anyway, let's go keep going.
Ah!
I'm crying.
Man,
At the
no
end of the
wonder you
day,
be having hard. You be having headaches, man. Too
I don't
many
be
of
having
them.
no headaches. I don't be having no headaches.
You be going through it. Or what'd you say? Heartbreak? You operating
Yeah,
off a
heart.
broken
Yeah,
heart?
I'm
Yeah,
operating on
that's
a
too
broken
many.
heart right now.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
heart broken. But anyway, so I gave that example to say that no one wants to control women as a man because you can't control somebody who doesn't want to be controlled. What did we just talked about in this episode about Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders? They're going to eat the humble pie. They're going to neglect. They're going to submit and give the NFL the power that they want desperately. So no, I'm not. Men are not trying to control women, but if they are, it's because of how powerful these women are. I've always told somebody, if you really want a real spy, send a woman in there. I guarantee you're going to find all the information that you really want for real. Because she going to get to it. She going to get to what you need to get to. Hey, I need you to go over to 87th Street, and I need you to tell me what they over there doing before I send any of the men over there to handle it. Go, you send that woman over there, she going to go real discreet, look it out, peep out the scenery, come back, profit. Well, this is what they doing over there. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, and then you know what? Who else I seen? I seen Lil Timmy over there too. Lil Timmy told me he was supposed to be at church, but he was over there too. Okay. Thank you. So it's not about the controlling of women because you can't control nobody. People got to submit to you.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm. That's you hit the nail on the head. You can't control nobody. They gotta submit to you.
Yep.
And now let me ask this real quick, Joy. What type of man would you be willing to submit to? A man that's able to control his environment, or a man that's gonna go with the flow? And I'll come
What
to
type
learn,
of
it
man
varies
is
for a lot of
this?
women, but it seems like most women prefer a man that can control the environment because environments tend to change. And one thing I think, Solomon, we got, we have an advantage. The way we're designed is we don't um, react to change very emotionally. We're very logical creatures. But that's why I never like belittle women and being emotional because you need that balance. That balance is what, to me, creates a great household. When there's someone looking into things a little deeper, but then there's someone still using a logical sense. Because then when you converse and you talk, you're able to come to a conclusion that makes a lot of sense. It's not, things are not being overlooked because I'm too logical, and then things are not being embellished because I'm too emotional. There becomes that balance of the family. But I believe in my heart that if you got an emotional woman and an emotional man, you are headed downwards because something is going to happen to where logic has to kick in. And if he's not a logical man, overly emotional, like Solomon said, I say they made a place for the men. This place has existed for centuries, and it's called jail. It has been many forms in many, but in every single society, from the North Pole to the South Pole, there are jails and there are prisons, and it's usually filled with more men than women because there is a problem when men are that emotional. That's not the way we were designed. That's why there are more men in prison than there are women. It's expected sometimes for women to make emotional decisions as long as it's not too far. We're not gonna really look at you like you. you got a lot going on. But I mean, I don't know, Joy. I would say, like, what would you think would be, maybe you can do like a follow-up question or a follow-up answer. What would you think that your peers, like your female peers, what they would prefer, a man that is more controlling or a man that's not as controlling in their environment? Like, what do you think nowadays they would like?
All right, family. Thank you for joining us for episode 49 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon, and you can find me on Facebook at Cornelius Solomon Walker. You can follow me on Instagram at CJ Walker 103. And if you want to get your book published, you can email me at cwalker1582@gmail.com. I have I'm gonna share next week the cover of the book for Miss Griselda D. Coleman, new author that I worked with, that is out of Jacksonville, Florida. The title of her book is called Chasing the Wind, and her book should be out June 10th. Okay, another author that I just worked with. And then I have, of course, my book that's out right now. Okay. There are only 9 numbers. So if you into numerology, I wrote that for the peoples. Okay. This book for the peoples. All right. And then you can also find me and all of us at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. Also be on the lookout. I have a new book coming out in June, at the end of June 27th. All right. Israel, where can people find you?
What's good? Y'all can find me at my email, johnjohnatl621 at gmail.com. You can find me on my website, jonathanjohnson61.com. You can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast. And y'all could go and purchase some of my love poems for the streets, where I be reciting my love poems at open mic nights and things of that nature. Go support.
Luke, where can people find you?
Excuse me, I've been eating the whole time. I'm hungry. My bad. I'm pulling the Israel today. You can find me at Luke733, leader number 9 at gmail.com. Or you can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. Other than that, no really big new announcements or anything coming like that. I'm getting ready for a coordination.
Dang,
So that's kind of been one of the big things on my plate, kind of getting the temple ready and prepared for all of the guests and visitors and stuff that we have coming. So
when is the coordination, Dr. Luke? Tell it to us.
yeah, so shout out to my queen, shout out to my leader. She going up a little higher, and we got people from all over the nation coming to support as she steps into her new degree, one of the more sacred degrees of our nation, which is known as the Candace Queen degree. It is probably one of the most sacred.
Dang, you spoiling it. Dang.
Yeah, I had to, man. I had to, bro. I mean, everybody know. Everybody know. It ain't no surprise no more because you gotta invite people. So, but like I say, I'm just happy for her. I'm happy that she's getting ready to go a little bit higher, and we trying to take our nation, like Solomon was saying earlier. We doing things. All 3 of us are doing things to play a part in all of the works that other people throughout the nation are doing. So it's a lot of different things going on, but we just trying to stimulate it. So I'm excited about this. This is going to be something to celebrate, and look forward to her elevation.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in attendance for that.
You gonna be in attendance? Oh yeah, we're gonna have to talk about
that. Okay, cool. And then family, if you can't watch us live, okay, on Mondays, you can always hear our beautiful voices, okay, on Spotify. Actually, Spotify, you can actually watch us on Spotify too. Okay. The Pharaohs Podcast is also on Spotify. We will be on Apple Podcasts. Actually, you know what? We actually do have a episode up. That's last week's episode that's up on Apple Podcasts because I'm trying to test some things out to see how that works. So we are on Apple Podcasts. If you really want to, we got one episode on there, friend. That's last week's episode. Okay, so if you want to check that out over there through your Apple devices, you can. We going everywhere. We finna be all around. Pandora as well. Oh yeah, we getting there. When if I say you gonna hear us somewhere, you gonna hear us somewhere. Okay, you gonna hear us somewhere. So, family, thank you for joining us. Like I said, we have a few episodes left of this first season. We're gonna take a little bit of a break, but you can always go back and just watch all of the episodes. I know y'all ain't see all of them. I know y'all ain't seen all of them. So come back and check us out. All right, family. Is there anything else?
No, it sounds like everything
All
good
right,
to me.
family. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Peace.
Peace, peace.